Chosen one, hear this clearly. You did not arrive here by chance. You were guided to this moment by divine appointment, a time heaven itself has marked. The same God who orchestrates seasons, shifts destinies, and turns timing into alignment has positioned your steps to encounter this message because you are on the threshold of a transformation that will not announce itself with fanfare. Before you lies a doorway, but it is unlike what the world associates with wealth or elevation. Signs will accompany your rise, but they will not resemble the applause or accolades that society celebrates. This journey is not about external validation, noise, or proving anything to anyone. It is about cultivating wisdom capable of stewarding what God chooses to release. Habakkuk 2:3 reminds us that the vision awaits its appointed time, and when it arrives, it will not fail. What is moving toward you carries momentum, but it also requires quiet vigilance. Sudden elevation invites attention, and attention attracts interference. Heaven is instructing you in restraint before you experience release. This is a season where God transitions you from desire to discernment. The question is no longer whether provision is coming, but whether you will protect it when it arrives. Divine wealth does not manifest to impress others. It comes to establish freedom, legacy, and alignment. The path ahead will challenge your obedience more than your faith. Often, God does not teach these lessons through voices or explanations. Sometimes the guidance is quiet, steady, and already in place, waiting for your readiness. Chosen one, what is being instilled in you now is not a lesson on how to gain wealth, but how to endure what follows after the blessing appears. Many pray for increase, yet few are prepared for the weight it carries. True wealth is not only a reward, it is responsibility. Loud display draws eyes not meant to see your life intimately. This is why the instruction is precise, not dramatic. When abundance arrives, tell no one. There is wisdom in concealment, as Scripture demonstrates through seeds growing in darkness and oil pressed privately. Even Jesus withdrew when crowds sought access over truth. Heaven's purpose is protection, not limitation. What approaches you is real, and its very reality demands safeguarding. Observing life, I have seen favor become pressure, generosity transform into obligation, and blessing turn into burden when exposure precedes preparation. People will sense what you hold and feel entitled, not from malice, but by nature. Chosen one, the world is filled with those who walk quietly with wealth, appearing ordinary by design. They understand a principle society refuses to teach. Privacy is stewardship, and security is wisdom. When visibility meets resources, risk multiplies. Attention is not neutral. When people perceive value, they begin to study your routines, your habits, your schedules, even without intention to harm. Threats to peace do not require enemies. Sometimes they arrive disguised as strangers, friends, or family. Consider the story of a man who received sudden wealth without preparation. His generosity had no boundaries. He wanted to serve, to give, to say yes to everyone. But without discernment, kindness becomes leakage. Provision without boundaries amplifies pressure instead of relieving it. What should have been a season of blessing became isolation, regret, and loss. Heaven does not want this for you, which is why you are learning restraint before release. Silence is not punishment, it is protection. Certain blessings cannot survive exposure. There are seasons where speaking less preserves more. When God increases you, human nature remains around you. Jealousy is quiet, comparison hides behind smiles. Even love struggles silently. This is not condemnation, it is reality. You must steward your discernment. Peace is easier to maintain when others cannot measure you. Conversations stay honest when assumptions are absent. Relationships stay purer when money is not the invisible third presence in the room. Once people know what you have, expectations shift, boundaries are tested, and costs rise. Chosen one, simplicity is a safeguard. Inflated lifestyles distort identity. Keeping your life measured ensures your heart remains clear, your experiences matter more than possessions, and time gains its proper value. Freedom becomes richer than applause, and intentional moments, quiet mornings, connection with those who knew you before blessings, the ability to rest without justification, become the true luxuries. These are gifts wealth was designed to facilitate, not replace. Proof seeks validation. Fruit speaks on its own. When your wealth remains quiet, your life can speak loudly in the areas that matter. Health stabilizes, relationships deepen, purpose sharpens. This instruction feels counterintuitive because true elevation is invisible until it manifests. When you gain abundance, tell no one, not from fear or shame, but from trust. Timing matters. There is a season to speak and a season to keep quiet. God does not always reinforce wisdom through dramatic correction. Often the guidance is quiet, steady, and already prepared beneath the surface, waiting for your readiness. Silence is discipline, and maturity comes before provision. The internal training you are experiencing now ensures that when resources arrive, you can manage them with poise, clarity, and integrity. Chosen one, wealth is not merely a set of options, it is a magnifier of what already exists inside. When resources increase, unresolved issues surface, instability becomes louder, and unhealed areas demand attention. This is why God trains you in quiet seasons before visible ones. There is a hidden cost to being exposed too soon. Attention alters perception, advice shifts into flattery, concern into curiosity, even generosity into manipulation when others feel entitled to your blessings. Heaven is not delaying you out of denial. It is calibrating you so what comes does not erode your peace. Money changes rooms immediately upon arrival. Conversations shift, expectations rise, subtle pressures infiltrate spaces. Assumptions form that you can carry more simply because you have more. Boundaries are tested. Blessing becomes burden when restraint is absent. Do not allow others to define your life numerically. When people know your income gains or losses, they measure your value in numbers rather than character. They assume your strength, minimize your struggles, and strip away your humanity. Silence preserves your right to be seen as a person, not a resource. Wisdom cries quietly. Discernment observes, waits, and listens. God often instructs his people to move differently. Than the crowd, not to feign humility, but to remain free. Freedom requires discretion, and underestimated power is protected power. When people do not know what you carry, they cannot target it, strategize against it, or leverage it. Your yes remains genuine, your no stays respected, negotiations remain balanced, and relationships grounded. This is also about shielding your heart from pride disguised as celebration. The urge to display often comes from old wounds seeking validation. But fleeting applause creates long-lasting expectations. God is inviting you into a reward system where peace outweighs praise. Many wealthy individuals choose simplicity, not for lack of access, but because attention taxes the soul. Expensive items demand maintenance, explanation, and comparison. They subtly enforce performance even when exhaustion looms. Simplicity, however, allows space to breathe, move freely, and rest without apology. Chosen one, the season you are in is teaching you how to enjoy without announcing, to provide without proving, to live well without noise. These are not limits. They are skills that protect joy when the numbers change. Peace, stability, and discretion are the unseen currencies of lasting increase. Even as your wealth remains quiet, people will sense a difference in you. Peace has a frequency. Stability carries a presence. You do not need to explain it or justify it. God's work in your life will be evident without exposure. Often, the clearest sign of true wealth is not what you own, but what no longer stresses you. The absence of panic, the ability to pause, the freedom to say no without fear. These are the fruits heaven protects fiercely. Again, God does not always teach these lessons with noise or dramatic instruction. Sometimes the guidance is quiet, steady, and already in place beneath the surface, ready to hold you when discernment feels heavy and restraint lonely. Chosen one, silence is not emptiness, it is discipline. Maturity is required before provision. This internal preparation is vital because the weight of what is coming demands it. As your resources grow, whatever is unstable, unhealed, or unresolved becomes amplified. Foundations formed in quiet seasons support expansion without collapse. There is a cost to being known too early. Attention shifts dynamics. Advice becomes flattery. Concern becomes curiosity. Generosity becomes manipulation. All when others assume entitlement, heaven is pacing you so the blessing does not corrupt your peace. I have watched how money changes interactions. Conversations shift, expectations grow, pressure quietly seeps in. People begin to count what you should give or tolerate, not always out of malice, but from assumption. The unspoken belief becomes, you have, so you should carry it. Without discretion, blessing becomes burden. There is also wisdom in keeping financial position undefined. When people cannot calculate your capacity, they cannot leverage or manipulate you. Contractors, partners, and peers cannot inflate expectations, negotiations remain fair, and interactions stay honest. Human behavior follows incentives. If people think you can bear more, they instinctively demand it. Silence removes the incentive, preserves boundaries, and keeps transactions clean. This restraint also protects your identity. When life is not centered on display, your heart stays anchored to purpose. Experiences matter more than possessions. Time with those who see you, rest without justification, and freedom to live intentionally become the true rewards that wealth unlocks, not replacements for them. I have learned that when money becomes loud, life becomes crowded. When money stays quiet, life gains spaciousness. You stop managing impressions and begin to enjoy presence. You know L. Onja maintain appearances. You cultivate peace. Chosen one, this is why God elevates quietly, not to conceal, but to protect. He knows how swiftly joy can be consumed by pressure and how easily blessings are turned into obligations. Silence signals, this is for you, not for display. True richness is measured in freedom, not accounts. The ability to rest without guilt, to choose simplicity even when abundance is available, to have time without schedules dictating value, these are signs of a soul untouched by its own provision. As you move forward, remember this: when you gain wealth, tell no one, not because you are hiding, but because you are honoring what God entrusts. Protection comes before expansion. Discernment precedes overflow. The quietness you practice now prepares your spirit to handle responsibility without panic or impulsive reaction. There is a particular exhaustion that comes from endurance rather than doubt. The fatigue of remaining faithful when excitement fades, of continuing to believe even when nothing appears to change. This is not weakness, it is the weight of carrying a promise not yet fully revealed. Many falter here, not because of disbelief, but because the waiting is quieter than expected. Heaven is not mistaken about timing, even when emotions are uncertain. Seasons where nothing seems to happen are moments of unseen alignment. Roots grow beneath the surface, foundations form out of sight, and what feels like delay is God teaching you to live without constant reassurance. He trusts what has already been planted within you. Obedience in ordinary, unseen moments builds the capacity to carry extraordinary blessings. Waiting exposes whether conviction is grounded or fueled by temporary emotion. When the rush disappears, what remains is what sustains you. Daily acts, returning to truth, choosing peace, saying no to despair. Construct a life ready to handle abundance. Anointed One, there will be moments when you question whether you misheard God, not because promises failed, but because the process feels longer than anticipated. This does not indicate error. It reflects maturation. Scripture reminds us that visions speak at appointed time, and lingering does not equal absence. It equals preparation. Seasons of monotony, repetition, and unanswered questions train obedience that is steady, resilient, and quiet. True faith does not rely on adrenaline. It endures in consistency, in returning to truth when the world offers none. This is the foundation upon which your capacity to steward blessing will be built. Chosen One, this stage of the journey teaches you to draw strength from alignment rather than urgency. The breakthrough will not feel overwhelming, it will feel right. Peace will accompany clarity, and you will recognize it without convincing yourself. Heaven observes how you handle waiting, not to punish, but to see what kind of steward you are becoming. Do you abandon discipline when excitement fades, or do you remain anchored? Do you chase sensation, or do you return to the quiet truth? These small, unseen decisions shape your capacity more than any sudden miracle could. There is grief in waiting, for timelines you imagined, for dreams you expected sooner. But God meets you here, refining your devotion and separating dependence on outcomes from loyalty to purpose. Days of simplicity, repetition, and routine are not empty. They are forming endurance. Faith does not always soar. Sometimes it remains present in ordinary acts, washing dishes, driving familiar roads, sitting quietly in rooms where no one sees the internal wrestling. These are the moments where true spiritual strength is built. God is teaching you to live without leaning on adrenaline, to practice contentment without stagnation, expectation without anxiety, and belief without spectacle. These combinations are rare. Most people only sustain faith when emotion is high. You are learning to sustain it when life feels neutral. This internal shift also provides protection. When opinions no longer move you, you preserve energy, boundaries, and peace. You may notice some conversations no longer interest you. Some environments feel too loud. Some ambitions seem hollow. This is refinement, not loss. God is narrowing your focus so that as provision increases, distraction does not. Temptation often arrives as noise, invitations, opinions, opportunities that appear appealing but pull you off center. Silence heightens discernment, helping you identify alignment versus depletion. Humility deepens, not performative, but grounded. You know what you carry and no longer seek external confirmation. This frees you from both pride and insecurity. You can receive blessing without inflation, accept correction without collapse, endure delay without despair. Wisdom thrives in stillness because it does not compete. It observes and responds only when necessary. Anointed One, these lessons prepare you to steward quietly, move deliberately, and rest without guilt. Protection comes from alignment, not spectacle. You are not missing anything, nor are you behind. The moment arrives with clarity, not chaos. You will know what to say yes to, what to protect, and what to release. These days cultivate discernment that ensures the transfer will not overwhelm you. When it comes, the fruit will speak, peace will show, and stability will be evident. Heaven's preparation is intentional, forming readiness before revelation. Your life will no longer need to announce its transformation. The evidence will be in the steadiness and alignment of your spirit. Chosen One, there comes a point where waiting no longer feels passive. It feels like standing watch. You are alert, steady, no longer pacing in anxious anticipation. This posture reflects confidence, not in yourself alone, but in the One who orchestrated your steps. Readiness does not manifest as excitement or urgency. It manifests as calm restraint. You could move quickly if necessary, yet you choose patience until the signal is clear. Heaven values this restraint because it mirrors trust. Just before significant shifts, life often appears deceptively ordinary. No fireworks, no loud confirmation, only a quiet sense that alignment exists, even if outward circumstances have not changed. This is not stagnation, it is stabilization. God settles you internally before moving you externally. During this period, temptation often masquerades as impatience, the urge to force momentum, to create movement, to announce readiness rather than embody it. Forced motion carries hidden costs. Alignment waits for permission, not validation. Your discernment has sharpened. You can sense when timing is off, even if logic insists it should work. This intuition is not anxiety, it is wisdom growing muscle. You are learning to trust the quiet nudges of your spirit over the loud pressure of opportunity. Early in life, speed felt like faith. Now you understand that faith can remain still without fear. This is mastery, not passivity. There is also an internal separation happening. You are no longer distracted by status, excess, or superficial allure. You are drawn to clarity, simplicity, and sustainability. This shift is crucial because what approaches requires unclouded perception, not cluttered attention. God prepares those ready for increase by reducing unnecessary complexity, teaching margin in time, energy, and focus. This margin allows blessing to expand without overwhelming you. Silence becomes familiar, not threatening. Patience grows comfortable. Observing without reacting, listening without absorbing, standing present without being pulled. These are not passive traits. They are signs of leadership forming beneath the surface. Influence and authority come to those who can remain centered amid projection. Wealth, access, and opportunity magnify the expectatio. N-ness of others. Your ability to remain grounded ensures you are not shaped by outside pressures. The promise is not delayed because of unworthiness, but because precision matters. When the transfer arrives, it will land on something stable, not shifting. Feeling the nearness without knowing the date is intentional. Early knowledge can invite fear or control. Trust remains relational, not transactional. What you carry now is readiness. You are upright, grounded, aware. When the moment comes, you will move instinctively, without scramble, without explanation. There is a final refinement that occurs when trust becomes instinctive. You stop asking what if and start living as though alignment itself is enough. This is not resignation. It is deep confidence. You no longer rehearse outcomes mentally. You are present in life, aware that it is connected to what is coming. Anointed One, peace becomes your indicator, not excitement or urgency. When peace persists amid uncertainty, it signals that your spirit no longer depends on control. God values this internal posture above visible preparation. The clearest sign of readiness is absence of frantic striving. Effort becomes intentional rather than anxious, planning measured rather than desperate. When you can envision the blessing without clinging to it, heaven knows you can receive without being overtaken. At this stage, faith has matured beyond needing repeated signs. You recognize the voice of God even when it whispers. Familiarity guides you through complex decisions. The approaching transfer is not only financial, it is relational, vocational, emotional. Your life will expand in multiple directions, and your ability to remain centered determines how well you steward that expansion. Many receive resources and access too early and lose rhythm, boundaries, or self in the process. God prevents this outcome by shaping your intern. Our pace before external elevation. Your groundedness now ensures that when opportunity arrives, you can carry it without being fractured or overwhelmed. This is why your days may feel quieter than others around you. Joy is deeper. Gratitude replaces anticipation, and alignment becomes the dominant posture. These are not signs of settling. They are signs of maturity. You are no longer living for breakthrough moments. You are living from alignment. When the doors open, you will walk through carrying peace, discernment, and restraint. These are the true safeguards of increase. There will be no need to announce your transformation. Those meant to recognize it will see it in fruit. Those who are not will require no explanation. Your life will speak clearly without volume, and heaven will elevate to establish, not to impress. Chosen one, what is coming will stabilize you, not destabilize. It will free you, not entangle you. Capacity will expand without erasing identity. You have been prepared quietly, thoughtfully, and patiently. Every unseen day mattered. Every ordinary moment contributed. Nothing was wasted. Stand where you are. Remain aligned. The shift does not need to be chased. It will arrive exactly where you are standing. This is how the promise completes its work. Chosen one, receive this truth with reverence. What heaven has begun does not need to be rushed, explained, or displayed. The transfer already in motion is quiet, yet certain. You are standing in your appointed moment, the exact timing marked for you, where wisdom rises above impulse, and peace guards what God entrusts to your hands. What is coming will not demand performance. It will invite alignment. Use what is given to preserve life, strengthen the body, steady the mind, and deepen connection. Invest in rest, in health, in quiet comfort, in moments that restore rather than impress. Allow generosity too. Flow where love is genuine and motives are pure. Let passion remain undistorted by comparison, nourished instead by gratitude. Heaven does not release abundance to distract you, but to free you. What you carry next will serve purpose, not ego. Walk forward with humility, discernment, and thanksgiving, knowing that silence will protect what display never could. If this message resonates within you, acknowledge it. Stand alongside others walking this quiet path, remaining connected as these seasons unfold together. A gentle reminder has been placed in the pinned comment and description, prepared for moments when your heart needs steadiness more than explanation. May peace guard you. May wisdom guide you. May what God has prepared arrive without resistance, and may you steward it in quiet strength. Understand this, chosen one. The real test of stewardship is not in acquisition, but in management, not in receiving, but in restraint. The blessing that comes with discretion multiplies. The blessing that comes with impulsive display diminishes. Heaven's wisdom trains you now to carry internally what will manifest externally later. Discipline, patience, quiet observation, and intentional action form the foundation for responsible elevation. These qualities cannot be borrowed or imitated. They are cultivated through enduring alignment, through repeated obedience in unseen moments, and through consistent faithfulness when no one is watching. Anointed One, the same God who orders seasons and shifts destinies, has prepared you for this. You are not rushed, you are not delayed, you are being positioned. Every quiet choice, every measured step, every silent obedience builds the container for what is coming. Stand firm, remain aligned, honor the preparation, and recognize that what feels ordinary now is actually extraordinary groundwork. The world may measure by noise, but heaven measures by readiness, and your readiness is being perfected in the silence. Chosen one, the moment of release will arrive, and you will walk through it fully prepared. You will not scramble, panic, or perform. You will move with confidence, because your spirit already recognizes alignment. Peace, discernment, and restraint will accompany you, safeguarding everything entrusted to you. What manifests will stabilize, not destabilize. It will free, not entangle. It will expand capacity without erasing your identity. You have been trained patiently, quietly, and deliberately for this very purpose. Every unseen day mattered. Every ordinary moment contributed. Nothing was wasted. Stand where you are, remain aligned, and trust that the shift will meet you exactly where you are standing. Understand that the path you have walked, the seasons of quiet preparation, the restraint, the endurance, the repeated obedience, is the foundation for sustaining this new level of blessing. When increase arrives, it will not overwhelm you because you have already carried it internally. You are no longer driven by adrenaline, opinion, or external validation. You are driven by alignment, discernment, and faithfulness. Heaven does not elevate to impress, it elevates to establish. The fruit of what is coming will speak for itself, and those meant to recognize it will see it. Those who are not will require no explanation. Walk forward with humility, wisdom, and gray attitude. Use what you receive to preserve life, strengthen your mind and body, deepen connection, and maintain peace. Generosity should flow where motives are clean. Passion should remain pure, nurtured by gratitude, not distorted by comparison. Silence is your protection. It is your discipline. Celebration alone cannot safeguard blessing, but restraint can. Heaven has been calibrating your internal world to handle external elevation, ensuring that the provision, influence, and opportunities coming your way multiply without eroding who you are. Chosen one, this is your moment. Stand grounded, aligned, and unwavering. The timing is exact. The transfer is certain. What arrives will honor the preparation, reflect your discipline, and reward your faithfulness. Heaven has positioned you precisely where you need to be, shaping readiness into instinct and peace into protection. Receive this season with confidence and trust, knowing that silence preserves, discernment guides, and alignment sustains. All that God has prepared will arrive without resistance, and you will steward it with quiet strength.